Welcome back to my channel and welcome to today's video. In today's video this is going to be a reading vlog where I read 3 books with the word summer in the title. So my way I'm doing this reading vlog is slightly different to some of the previous ones I've done where I kind of randomise the selection and don't know in advance what I'm going to be reading. For this reading vlog I have actually selected the 3 books ahead of time so I know which ones I'm going to be reading, and I just thought I'd show you the ones I'm going to be reading for this video, and then obviously we'll dive right into the book. So I'm going to be reading Booked for Summer by Catherine Freeman. Problematic Summer Romance by Ali Hazelwood, and I'm hoping that this is going to be the Ali Hazelwood book that I end up loving, but we shall see. And then these two were library books, or are library books, and then the other one is one from my own TBR, which is The Summer We Fell by Elizabeth O'Rourke, which is book 1 in the summer series. So these are the 3 books that I'm going to be reading. I'm really looking forward to diving into these one, and I am actually reading this one first. So we'll dive right in with my thoughts shortly. So the first book that I'm reading for this video is Booked for Summer by Catherine Freeman, and I am actually quite far into it. I would say I'm well over 50% of the way through, probably about 70-ish%. And so far I'm liking this one. I'm not sure where my rating is going to end up for this one. We will have to see when I get to the end, but so far I am liking it, as I say. In this one we follow Jade and Liam, and Jade is a girl from the UK. And she's working as a publishing assistant, but she's not really loving her job. Her job is very much kind of admin based, and she does like coffee runs and things like that, and it's not kind of the job that she wants. She really wants to work with books, and the publishing assistant role that she's currently in isn't really giving her that. And so she discovers this role on Nantucket, which is going to be being a bookshop manager for 3 months, and she jumps at the chance to go for this opportunity, obviously living away from home for the first time. And managing a bookstore is kind of her dream. She really wants to prove to her family that she can do this. And then we have Liam, who is a wealthy resort owner. He owns the resort on Nantucket, or one of the resorts on Nantucket, and he is in the process of buying up property on the island, and he is very wealthy. And he and Jade meet right at the beginning of the book, and Jade doesn't realise who he is at that point. And she actually gets on his boat thinking that he's the water taxi, but obviously quickly realises that she has made a mistake. And it kind of goes from there. They have very quick, instant attraction to one another, and they do get together quite quickly at the beginning of the book. This is before either of them realise who each other are. So it turns out that Liam has actually bought the bookstore from the current manager, and he plans to knock down the bookstore because he wants to build some luxury cottages where the bookstore stands. And so that causes some tension between the 2 characters. He actually finds out who Jade is before she does, before she finds out who he is. But they continue sleeping together, and obviously this causes some massive tension when Jade finds out that he is going to be knocking down the bookstore and basically crushing her dreams. So they have tension throughout the book. And as I say, I've read quite a lot of it, so we're kind of in the phase where they're kind of reconciling a little bit, and Liam is starting to kind of beg for forgiveness, and we'll see whether Jade accepts him or not. So I'm interested to see how this one is going to end. I know a lot of people haven't really been rating this one highly, so I am very, very interested to see whether... I'm kind of leaning somewhere between a 3 and a 4 at the moment. I think depending on how this ends is going to determine my rating. So I will update you as soon as I have finished this one, and we'll update you with my final thoughts. I want to give you some reading updates. So I have finished Booked for Summer by Catherine Freeman, and I ended up giving this one a 3-star rating. So I didn't end up loving this one as much as I hoped for. So I really like the premise for this one, in terms of we are following Jade, who has travelled to Nantucket to manage a bookstore on a temporary, like, 3-month contract, and she runs into, I don't think he is quite a billionaire, but a very wealthy man called Liam, who turns out to be her boss, and he is actually planning to close down the bookstore. He's recently bought it from the old owner, and he wants to shut it down. So that's kind of putting a pause on Jade's plans. And I just didn't necessarily love the romance between these two characters. One of Jade's biggest hang-ups is she is blonde, and she has a bigger chest, and she has always been viewed as the pretty one, and one of her exes even referred to her as his dumb blonde phase. And whilst obviously I appreciate that, you know, there is an element of attractiveness when, you know, in romance books, obviously, yes, the hero should be attracted to our main female character, but I feel like Liam didn't he really played into the kind of her being a blonde and being really attractive. I would have really loved to have seen him focus more on some of her other qualities, and he did a little bit, but I feel like he could have really focused on them a lot more. A lot of his thoughts were about how attractive she was, and not so much on her personality, which I would have personally liked to see more of. So overall, this was just an okay read for me. Definitely not my favourite from this author, but if you're looking for a fun summer read, this may be a good one to pick up. If you're like, I really like the Nantucket setting. It definitely had like small town vibes, which is what the author said that she was going for, so I did really appreciate that. But overall, it was just okay for me, not a favourite. Then I have started Problematic Summer Romance by Ali Hazelwood, and I am quite far into this one. This is how far I'm into it. And I am really surprised with this one. So far, I am really enjoying this. And I think it's maybe a bit too early to say, because obviously I've not finished the book, but I feel like this could be a contender for my favourite Ali Hazelwood book. Now, if you haven't watched some of my previous videos, you might not know that I have very mixed feelings about Ali Hazelwood's books. I've never given any of them 5 stars. The majority of them have been 3 stars. I think I've given a couple 4 stars, and I have given at least one of them 2 stars. She is not necessarily an author that I love, but I do keep still revisiting her books because obviously so many people love her books. She is very hyped, and I always feel like I'm missing something when I read her books. So I did decide to pick up her new release. And I'm really glad that I did, because I am really enjoying it. Now, I don't want to jinx it too much in case my thoughts change, and because obviously I've still got like a load of it left to read, but so far I'm really enjoying it. So in this one's actually a sequel to, is it Not in Love? Is that what it's called? Yeah, Not in Love. And it's set in this kind of same world. We follow, in the first book, Not in Love, we follow Eli and Rue. And I'll be honest, I gave that one 4 stars, but I really don't remember a ton about it. And in this one, we are following Eli's sister, oh God, what was her name? I'm reading it right now and I'm still struggling to remember her name. Maya is her name, and Connor's the hero. And Connor is Eli's best friend, and Maya is Eli's younger sister. And we are following their romance, and it is very much a slow burn romance. We are quite far into the book, and not a lot has happened in terms of the romance. There is definitely a slow burn build up to it. There's definitely connection and chemistry between the two characters, but in terms of actually acting on that, we've seen very little. But I haven't really minded that, to be honest. I am really enjoying the journey and following these characters, and I really can't wait for them to get together. So in this one, Eli and Rue are getting married, and it's a destination wedding in Italy. So they are staying in a villa with Eli and Rue, and then Maya and Connor, and then some of Eli and Rue's friends and colleagues. So it's quite a big villa that they're all staying in, and things are not necessarily going well for this wedding. The first night people ended up with kind of food poisoning. On one of the other days someone nearly drowned. Now the volcano has just erupted. There's a lot of things that are going wrong, and Eli and Rue are starting to wonder whether their wedding is cursed. But throughout all these kind of other side plot things that are happening, we see Maya and Connor kind of reconnecting. They haven't really spoken in a really long time, and we get to see some kind of past scenes with them where they did obviously have this quite strong friendship. Connor has always kind of shied away from having any kind of feelings for Maya because there is quite a significant age gap. There's a 15-year age gap, and obviously Maya is his best friend's younger sister, so kind of off limits in that regard. And so he has kind of very much always kind of pushed down those feelings, whereas Maya has quite clearly had a crush on him when she's kind of been younger, and those feelings have never really gone away. And I really have enjoyed seeing the past and present. Sometimes past and present scenes don't always work, but in here it is really working. So I'm really glad to say that I am enjoying this one so far. I hope I don't get disappointed by the ending, and I will update you as soon as I have finished this one. I cannot believe this, but I'm actually giving a Ali Hazelwood book 5 stars. So I have finished Problematic Summer Romance by Ali Hazelwood, and I really enjoyed this one, and I gave it 5 stars, and I honestly can't believe it. I have read pretty much all of Ali Hazelwood's books. The only one I've not read is The Love Hypothesis, and to be honest, most of her books have just been okay for me, with the odd few exceptions of a couple that I have really not liked, but most of them have just been like okay, and I've never really understood the hype. But this one I really enjoyed. This one, I don't know, something about this one, I really clicked with the way this one was written. I found it really engaging. I really didn't want to put this one down. I read it quite quickly because I just couldn't put it down, and I wanted to keep reading to see these characters get their happy ending, because this one is a slow burn romance, like really slow burn. The characters don't get together until quite late on in the book, and throughout this whole book I was just rooting for these two characters to get together, Connor and Maya. I just couldn't wait for them to get together because there was so much tension between the two, like throughout the whole book. And this one we see flashbacks to like 3 years ago when they first started their kind of romantic journey, although it was kind of more of a friendship. So we really see them develop their friendship, and then whilst they're away for this wedding, the romance does develop. And yeah, this one was such a good summer read. It has a lot of tropes in that I think people will really love. So there is a wedding element to it, not the main characters' weddings, but they are in Italy for Maya's brother's wedding, Eli, and they are characters from the previous book, Not in Love. And I'll be honest, I couldn't really remember much about Eli and Rue, so I may need to go back and revisit their book. But they are on holiday in Italy for this wedding, and we get to see them do kind of a few different things, like touristy things within Italy, and there was obviously a big friendship group, so we get to see different friendship dynamics. And as I say, the romance really developed quite slowly, and I know a lot of people say Ali Hazelwood's books are spicy. I wouldn't really call them spicy romances. Like, there are a lot spicier books available, but because this was slower burn, the spice in this one is quite low, so if that is something that you don't really want to read, this one would be a good option, because compared to Deep End, which I know a lot of people were saying was like really spicy, which again I didn't really think it was, this is really low on spice in comparison to Deep End. But yeah, I love this one, and I'm interested to see what Ali Hazelwood brings out next, because I think her next book is going to be Mate, which is a sequel to Bride, so I'm interested to check that one out. But in terms of her contemporaries, I'm not sure what else she has in the pipeline. But yeah, really happy with this one, and I honestly can't believe that I gave this one 5 stars. Yeah, really love this one. That's all I can really say. So the next book I'm going to be reading is The Summer We Fell by Elizabeth O'Rourke. I haven't started that one yet, but I will be diving into that one next. I'm just going to grab it so I can kind of have a quick look at the synopsis for you. So this is the first book in the summer series, so I think there's like 4 or 5 books in this series. This series is available on Kindle Unlimited, so if you do want to check this book out, it can be read on Kindle Unlimited. I believe the whole series is on there, but definitely this first book is. And this one says, dangerous, intoxicating, forbidden. Everything changed the moment I met him. He was my boyfriend's best friend and the bane of my existence. I wanted to hate Luke Taylor. I did hate him. I just never hated him enough. Now, a decade later, tragedy has brought us back to the place where it all happened. My best times and my worst. Our lives have changed, but that pull between us is just as strong as ever, only this time it's more dangerous too. So it sounds really interesting. I don't think I've read anything with this trope, boyfriend's best friend. Like, that's an interesting trope. I don't think I've read anything with that. So I'm looking forward to diving into this one. I haven't actually read anything from Elizabeth O'Rourke. I did start reading Parallel, which is under the Elle O'Rourke pen name, but I didn't actually get very far in it, not because I wasn't enjoying it, but just other things came up and I ended up putting it to one side and just haven't picked it back up. So this will be my first book from this author, so really looking forward to diving into this one, and we will see what we make of it. So I'm here to wrap up the final book for this reading vlog, which is The Summer We Fell by Elizabeth O'Rourke, and I really did not enjoy this book. I gave it 2 stars and I did not have a good time reading this one. So you're probably wondering, why didn't you just DNF it? And it's really quite short, so I kind of just, by the time I kind of realised that I wasn't going to be enjoying this, I'd already read like over half of the book, and for me, once I've read over half, I feel like I might as well carry on until the end, and yeah, I wish I hadn't, but that's where we are with this one. As I say, I did not enjoy this one at all. So this one we are following Juliet and Luke, and this is told in then and now narrative, which, I'll be honest, is not always my favourite. I don't always like that past and present switching. And in this one I didn't really care for it much. So in present day we are following Juliet and Luke as they are trying to help set up a foster home for this woman called Donna, who kind of took them both in when they were children, and we are following them kind of developing their romance. And in the past we see them as young children, and at the time Juliet is taken in by Donna and her husband because she's escaping from her like abusive household. Her stepbrother has been abusing her, so she kind of gets away from that and moves in with Donna and her husband, and Donna and her husband have a son called Danny, who Juliet is dating, and she is taken into their household. She's treated relatively well, but the pastor obviously has quite, sorry, I forgot to say, Donna's husband is a pastor, and he has very conservative views, and obviously very certain conservative views about what women should be doing and their role in the household. So Juliet does do a lot of the cooking and cleaning in the household. That's kind of expected of her. And she, as I say, she is dating Danny when they are children, but she does have these moments with Luke as when they are children. Danny unfortunately dies in some sort of surfing accident. I think he like jumps off a cliff and like tries to surf or something like that, and so in present day he has unfortunately passed away, and they are working together to set up this foster home, which is a kind of dream of Donna's. And this one, I mean, obviously it's got summer in the title, so I was expecting like a light, fun summer romance, but this one is quite heavy. There's a lot of heavy stuff going on in here. As I say, Juliet was being abused by her stepbrother, and although she wasn't really treated the best when she moved in with Donna and the pastor, and Danny was not particularly great to her either, and I just didn't really feel like this was much of a romance story. Like, the relationship between Juliet and Luke didn't really work for me, both in the past and in the present. I wasn't invested in this story at all, and it was really a slog to kind of push through and finish this one. This is the first book that I have finished reading by Elizabeth O'Rourke. I did start reading Parallel, which is under her L. O'Rourke pen name, which is a paranormal I think romance. I didn't get very far into it, so I couldn't really tell you what 100% that one is about. And I ended up putting it to one side because I had other stuff to read. But I'm really hesitant to go in and pick up more from this author. I do have the whole summer series, and I do have some of her other books as well. But yeah, as I say, this one I did not enjoy. And I do seem to be in the minority when it comes to this book, because I think on Goodreads this had a 4.02 rating, which is pretty high. And a lot of people that I follow and trust their reviews on and take recommendations from really loved this book and rated it really highly. So I don't know what was wrong with me. This one just didn't work for me, unfortunately. So I've had some mixed experiences for this video. So I've had this one, which was a 2-star, Booked for the Summer, which was a 3-star, and then Problematic Summer Romance, which was a 5-star, a very surprising 5-star for me. But I've had some fun reading the summer books, and I think I can definitely do another video with this theme, because there are so many books with summer in the title, and I have quite a lot on my TBR. So if you would like to see me revisit this theme for a vlog, let me know, because I definitely have some ideas for books that I could read to fill that. But I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. If you've read any of these books, please let me know. If there are any books with summer in the title that you would like to recommend to me, again, let me know, and I will see you guys in my next video.